What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Recently I've been hearing a lot of reports on the whole Damian Lillard trade situation. What team will he end up on? There's been a lot of different theories, of course, all about this. We have heard countless of Los Angeles Lakers and New York Knicks theories with Damian Lillard. But one team we haven't exactly heard an extreme amount, which is, of course, a little bit surprising, I think, is actually the Golden State Warriors. We've heard from some kind of shady sources here and there that, of course, the Golden State Warriors would be interested, but I haven't really made any videos, exactly to cover them. I'm sure when I get an actual, big source on this, I probably will. But in today's video, I just kind of wanted to go over my thoughts and opinions on whether or not I think the Golden State Warriors should, of course, go ahead and try and trade for Damian Lillard. So I guess without further ado, let's get straight into it. And I'm going to say 100% yes, the Warriors should look to trade for Damian Lillard. But there is one player, in my opinion, that I think the Warriors should actually have in front of Damian Lillard. And please don't take this as I'm saying he's better than Damian Lillard. I'm for sure not. But I do think they should actually have Karl-Anthony Towns in front of Damian Lillard. And the reason I'm saying this is because I think Karl-Anthony Towns would actually kind of solidify this team, much more than what Damian Lillard will. For example, let's just say Damian Lillard gets traded to the team. What will happen is either like two things. One, it just will be still a pretty good team, but it might not work out with Dame, Steph, and Clay all being in the same starting lineup. And of course, the other one is they become the greatest team, really, of all time. Now, I think the Karl-Anthony Towns one, though, has a little bit less consequence. I think no matter what with Karl-Anthony Towns, if he can stay healthy, your team is going to be elite and one of the best in the NBA. There's no chemistry issues. He comes in straight away. And, a lot of people think that small ball lineup for the Warriors is based off just players being, smaller than what the position that they actually play in. And it's more than that. It's a scenario of agility, speed, and athleticism. You can be a smaller center, but you might not be as agile as what, Draymond Green is when he, of course, goes and plays small ball center. Like, let's just say you put in, of course, maybe like a Tristan Thompson. Tristan Thompson will be a small ball center, but he's not going to be as agile, quick, not as good as a playmaker, etc. pretty much as what Draymond Green will be, if you guys know what I mean. But if we look at Karl-Anthony Towns, he really does fit in this team perfectly because he is still kind of like all of those things. He's not slow for a player of his height at all. He is still an alright passer, really great screen setter. And he's an elite shooter. He's arguably the best big man shooter in the league. He's like 40% from three now. Consistent seasons. And I just think if you partner him up with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, wow, that's just, no one's getting past that. While Damian Lillard, I worry about Lillard on the Warriors because I think Klay Thompson, it would be a really hard thing for him to come in and play that small forward position after doing an ACL and Achilles. You're practically asking a player now who's 6'5", a great perimeter defender, but he's only 6'5", hasn't played in 2 years. You're basically asking him to go out there and guard 6'9" LeBron James, 6'9" Tobias Harris, etc. That's going to be an extremely hard thing to do for Klay Thompson. Well, I think if he's guarding players 6 foot to 6'5" at that shooting guard position, I think that makes a lot more sense for him, and I think that there's a lot less chance that he'll get, injured playing that shooting guard position than he probably will play in that small forward position. Because small forward, you're practically laying him on a deathbed, really, in terms of he's going to be, oh my god, he could be a very, very bad situation if he was to play that small forward position. Again, as I said, you're practically asking a 6'5" dude that has been injured for 2 years and hasn't played a basketball game in 2 years to go and play on a 6'9" LeBron James or a 6'9" Tobias Harris. That's rough. That is extremely rough. But again, when we look at Damian Lillard, though, I think Damian Lillard and Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, if you can get Klay Thompson back healthy, which even though I don't necessarily, not the biggest fan of the Warriors, even though I love to make videos on them, but I'm not an extreme huge fan on the Warriors. I still hope that Klay Thompson gets healthy, and no one deserves to be injured like that. That's just a very, very sad thing. So I hope Klay Thompson can get healthy, and that maybe he can come back and, who knows, guard a little bit of that small forward position. But when you look at it, who's starting a team of Steph Curry, Steph Curry, Damian Lillard, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and maybe who even knows? Actually, they probably play like a Kelly Oubre at power forward and then Draymond Green at center. That team is extremely hard to stop. Like, Draymond Green would be, of course, the main playmaker of that team, literally at center. Yes, I think he'd struggle with guarding, centers consistently, but hey, you can bring this like Kevon Looney off the bench if it gets real tough. But again, I don't think training for Damian Lillard would be too hard if you're a Warriors fan. Like, you'd have to give up James Wiseman, Eric Pascal, of course, probably like a Jordan Poole, so all of those three young players. And then, of course, you'd give up your pick 7 and your pick 14, and probably an extra 3 or 4 future first-round picks on top of that. Probably only like 3 future first-round picks on top of that. And then, could you imagine that, though? Like, the Portland Trail Blazers would get a fantastic deal out of that, too. Then they can trade CJ, and they can trade, the other players here and there, Nurkic and that, try and bring in some first-round picks. And let's just say they bring back Powell in free agency and decide to rock with Covington for another season. They could actually be looking at a really, really interesting team. Like, let's just say with that pick 7, they took Davion Mitchell. Portland could actually have a team that looks like Davion Mitchell at point guard, like a Jordan Poole at shooting guard, maybe Norman Powell at small forward, Robert Covington at power forward, and then James Wiseman as your center. Look, I don't think that team would compete for the playoffs, but, even off the bench, you would still roll with, like, Robert Covington, maybe Eric Pascal, a couple more young players here and there, Nazir Little. Again, the list will probably go on. That team will probably be like a 10 to 12 seed, but that'd still be a pretty fun team to watch, in my opinion. It might actually shock some people. While the Golden State Warriors, if they can get everyone healthy, they'd probably be like the first seed. If not, if Klay struggles to guard small forward or just still remains like a little bit injured, then yeah, that's going to be tough for them. But I still think like a team of like, and also of course, to make cap situations, the Trailblazers would actually get Andrew Wiggins as well. But actually, who knows? Like a team like that, like Davion Mitchell at point guard, Wiggins at shooting guard, Powell at small forward, or both of them just swapping on the wings. Again, like a Covington type player, a Pascal power forward, and then Wiseman in the center. Who knows? That team could actually push for, trying to make the playoffs or, trying to get into a situation where they could compete for it late in the season. They still have a bunch of first round picks and talent on that. If they can't find a trade for CJ, even rolling with a team like Mitchell, CJ, Wiggins as well, like it becomes a really fun team to maybe watch. While again, that Warriors team would just be pretty hectic. I just don't think this will really happen, but hey, we look at it as well with Damian Lillard. He's also from Oakland, I believe. So again, he'll probably want to look to try and play for a team like Golden State if he does request a trade, so he can go back, home and play for the team that I believe he grew up supporting. I could be wrong if he didn't support them. And again, he pretty much grew up in the city. Of course, Oakland and San Francisco are the two main cities for the Golden State Warriors. So yeah, it will be really interesting to see, of course, how this, really does all go. If you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe to my, gaming channel, my IRL/vlog channel. So don't forget to subscribe to this channel for the latest NBA content and NBA news. Of course, don't forget to subscribe, to those. Don't forget to check out my podcast as well if you haven't already, which I will all be linking in the description down below. And yeah, don't forget to comment your thoughts and opinions down below. Do you guys think the Golden State Warriors should, of course, trade for Damian Lillard? Do you guys think they will? Do you guys think they'll be interested? Of course, I'd very much like to hear all your thoughts and opinions on this down below. But as I was saying, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.